Hello everyone, welcome back to Believer Science Academy, Bengaluru. This is everyday news analysis session. In today's session, we'll be discussing some 5 to 6 important articles from various newspapers, which are important from UPSC, prelims, mains, as well as interview perspective. With this, we'll start the discussion. So, the first article for the day is from the Hindu, that is the looming threat to federalism and democratic tenets. Okay, this article deals about one nation, one election. It talks about issues related to one nation, one election, how it is a threat to federalism and democratic tenets. Okay, it says that center is trying to bring one nation, one election, which is going to undermine the federal constitutions, and they also say that in the historical context, simultaneous elections are not new to the India. The simultaneous elections were held from 1952 to 1965 together, but this was disrupted by the use of Article 356, that is the President rule. This President rule was used on the Kerala government for the first time in 1959, which dissolved the Kerala government. As a result, there was new elections held in Kerala, so the synchronized elections ended with that one. Okay, so this Article 356 has been used unsparingly as against its use to be done by sparingly as suggested by B.R. Ambedkar. Okay, so B.R. Ambedkar called Article 356 as a dead letter, and he termed it, he said that it should be used sparingly, but it has been used as a weapon by union government against the state governments for various times. So H.V. Kamath famously remarked that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is dead and the articles are very much alive. This word or this statement is very important. If you are preparing for mains or interview, you can use this statement whenever there is a question on one nation, one election or simultaneous elections, or if there is a question on misuse of Article 356. Okay, Dr. H.V. Kamath remarked about 356 as Dr. Ambedkar is dead, but the articles are very much alive. Okay, so this is the background. Now you'll understand. So we discussed that ruling BJP or NDA government advocates for synchronizing Lok Sabha and state elections under the single electoral roll. The supporters view that this one nation, one election will increase administrative efficiency and result in cost savings. So, example, 2019 election, Lok Sabha election, the cost was whopping 60,000 crore rupees. Okay, 60,000 crore rupees. So, if there are more elections being held, this cost and the resource will be more. So, if we are going to hold simultaneous elections, this cost can be reduced to an extent. Okay, but the opponent's concern is that it is a threat to federalism and democracy as enshrined in the constitution, because the one nation, one election is going to undermine the state issue. Okay, undermine the state issue compared to central issues. The central issues will be overshadowing the state issues, and the people will be voting from the perspective of center rather than the local issues. Okay, so again, were conducted post independence but were disrupted by President rule in 1959 in the Kerala. Article 356 later became a tool for political misuse, curbing the state autonomy. So what are the constitutional challenges related to one nation, one election? One nation, one election necessitates constitutional amendments, particularly to Article 83, which deals with term of Lok Sabha, and Article 172, term of State Legislative Assembly, which guarantee separate 5-year terms for Parliament and state assemblies. Okay, the misuse of anti-defection laws and the Article 356 exacerbates the problem, leading to political instability. Okay, so these are the constitutional challenges which should be taken into consideration. And how is it a threat to federalism? Because one nation, one election diminishes the power of democratically elected state governments by aligning their terms with the national elections, eroding the federal structures. Okay, because 5-year term for state legislative assembly and 5-year term for parliament or Lok Sabha. Okay, so you have to presently not all the state governments have the same election time as the Lok Sabha. Many states have election which is related to their own conditions. So now if you want to bring the simultaneous elections, you have to either reduce the term of these particular states which are not aligned with the center, or you have to increase the time period. Okay, so most probably what is going to happen here is they are going to keep the 5-year terms of parliament same only, but they are going to curb the 5-year terms of state legislative assembly, so that they are going to align with the synchronized elections, so which is going to undermine the federal structure. This does disrupt the principle of one person, one vote, one value, and undermines the autonomy. Okay, this principle is very important. We are talking about one nation, one election, but that one ocean, one election is going to undermine the principle of one person, one vote, and one value. Okay, next, governance and practical challenges. That is, there will be administrative issues regarding managing a unified election cycle for over 900 million voters in 28 states and 8 union territories will be daunting logistically. Then, curtailing state government's terms undermines the public mandate and democratic risks. Okay. So the recommendations provided by the authors in this article is that they should focus on strengthening the federalism and addressing systematic reforms before implementing one nation, one election. They should also safeguard constitutional values, ensuring a balance between the state and union powers. Okay, these safeguards should be first provided, only then they should be focusing on one nation, one election. Okay, and the second article, second editorial, it is also from the Hindu. It is about India cross-border insolvency and legal reform. This article deals about India's cross-border insolvency. Okay, what is the importance of cross-border insolvency framework? It is important because global trade expansion has highlighted the need for an effective cross-border insolvency system. There is a need for a robust framework for economic stability, attracting foreign investments, facilitating corporate restructuring. Okay, in order to increase investment and stability, you need a robust cross-border insolvency system. Okay, it is going to build confidence in the corporate entities so that they can think of investing in India. So then, what are the historical context of insolvency laws in India? The laws regarding insolvency have been present in India during the British era itself. The first and foremost law was the Indian Insolvency Act of 1848, and later the Presidency Towns Insolvency Act of 1999 and Presidency Provincial Insolvency Act of 1920. Okay, these focused on the domestic insolvencies but failed to address the cross-border issues. Okay, then post-independence developments. Despite the recommendations for modernization, insolvency law remained unchanged until the 1990s economic liberalization. It highlighted the need for reforms. Then the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code of 2016 focused on domestic insolvencies. Okay, what is insolvency? Suppose there is a company or a person who has taken a loan from the bank. Okay, taken the loan from the bank, but he is unable to repay it to the bank, and that loan has become a non-performing asset. Okay, but it is the duty of this corporate or the person to repay the amount. If he is unable to repay the amount, then whatever the properties, okay, properties etc present with him will be insolvent. Okay, those will be sold or like sold in the market, and then the when they are sold in the market, the money or the proceeds of this sold will be given back to the banks or the other entities who have provided loans to the quantity. Okay, This insolvency bankruptcy code has focused on domestic insolvencies. It provided certain time limit for declaring the insolvencies. Okay, the insolvency process most of the times took more than 3 years before, but now it has reduced to 1 year only. So that is another issue. And what are the challenges with respect to cross-border insolvencies? That is, there are unforeseeable provisions. That is, section 234 and 235 of insolvency bankruptcy code lack implementation, leading to inefficiencies in international cases. Then, case study of Jet Airways Limited in 2019 is that issues arose due to the absence of reciprocal arrangements with the foreign countries and non-codification of key provisions. Then it highlighted dead letters, that is the law that exists but cannot be applied. This is referring to section 254, 234 and 235 IBC. Okay, there is a provision for international cross-border insolvency, but it has no implementation. If you want to implement insolvency at the cross-border level, you need the agreements between particular country. Okay, that is not properly done by Indian government. Then, so what are the efforts that have been taken to reform this framework? The Ministry of Corporate Affairs has set up Insolvency Law Committee in 2018 and Cross-Border Insolvency Rules and Regulation Committee of 2020. The recommendations included in adopting UNCITRAL, okay, UNCITRAL model law on cross-border insolvency. So there is already a model present in the UNCITRAL. So that should be implemented according to the efforts. So what are the way forward provided by under this article? The article deals about adopting UNCITRAL model law. This ensures harmonization with global practices. This simplifies resolution processes, reducing judicial burden and transaction cost. It also strengthens the communication mechanisms, that is, Judicial Insolvency Network Guidelines of 2016 and Court-to-Court Communication Protocols of 2018 can modernize these processes. Okay. Then, addressing the legislative gaps. That is, Rule 11 of the NCLAT rules limits the NCLT's jurisdiction in cross-border cases, which is reducing its effectiveness. Okay. Then, enhancing the tribunal's powers is imperative for seamless implementation. You have to increase the powers of NCLT, National Company Law Tribunal. Okay, there is NCLAT, that is National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. Okay, whatever the cases are dealt by NCLT, there can be appeal. There is appeal against this in NCLAT, and there are rules of NCLAT which have reduced the effectiveness of NCLT with respect to cross-border insolvencies. So the present need is that we have to provide more powers to NCLT with respect to cross-border insolvencies. Okay, only then we can address cross-border insolvencies. So the article emphasizes the urgency for India to modernize its cross-border insolvencies so that it can reap the investment, it can reap the economic stability, it can improve the economic development. Okay, the implementing reforms will boost investor confidence, will ensure a resolution of international insolvency cases, will align India's insolvency framework with the global standards. Okay, so that is why there is a need for cross-border insolvency law in India. Then, water woes. So the third article is again an editorial from our opinion from the Indian the Hindu. It deals about water woes, that is rising nitrate levels in India's groundwater. Okay, so what is present in this article is, it is a groundwater assessment. That assessment shows a troubling trend. According to Central Groundwater Board, annual assessment reveals increasing nitrate contamination in India's groundwater. Then the key findings is, between the time period of 2017-2023, districts with excessive nitrate of above 45 milligram per liter increased from 359 in 2017 to 440 in 2023. Okay, so there are 440 districts with excessive nitrate level in India at present. Nearly 19.8% of groundwater samples analyzed in 2023 showed nitrate levels above the safe limits. Okay, nitrate is a pollutant which has a very bad health implications, and the level of nitrate is very high in 19.8% of the groundwater level. So what are the impacts of excess nitrate? Why is there a worry about high nitrate levels in groundwater? There is obviously health concern. The health concern is it causes methe, methemo, methemoglobinemia. Methemoglobinemia. Okay. Methemoglobinemia, which is nothing but reduce the oxygen carrying capacity of red blood cells, leading to blue baby syndromes in infants. This is very important. Increased nitrate will lead to blue baby syndromes. This happens because of methemoglobinemia. Okay. Then what are the environmental concerns? The high nitrate levels in the surface water lead to algal blooms, choking aquatic ecosystems. So then what are the regional highlights? Most affected states are Rajasthan, 49% of the samples above safe limit, Karnataka 48%, Tamil Nadu 37%. And what are the perennial problem areas? That is Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat. Persistent contamination, nitrate contamination due to geological factors. Then in certain areas the contamination is rising, such as central and southern states are witnessing an increase which is mostly linked to intensive agricultural practices. Okay. Then other contaminants in groundwater include fluoride. According to Central Groundwater Water Commission, fluoride, it exceeds permissible limits in Rajasthan, Haryana, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. This fluoride can cause fluorosis. Okay, fluorosis is a disease which will impact your bones. Okay, bones, joints and teeth coloration, etc., etc., the result of fluoride consumption. And then uranium, which is another significant contamination, which is also radioactive in nature, which will have negative impacts on health also. Then states with overexploited groundwater blocks report higher contamination levels. That is obviously because more overexploitation will lead to more seeping of pollutants from the agriculture, etc., etc. Then, so the groundwater extraction, the current status of groundwater extraction is groundwater extraction remains at 60.4%, largely unchanged since 2009. This 60.4% groundwater extraction is the highest percentage of groundwater extraction in world. Okay, and 73% of groundwater blocks are in safe zone where replenishment matches extraction levels. This is a good thing, but still the remaining 27% should be taken care of. So what the article calls is, it calls for action. That is, there is a need to address the crisis by creating awareness and leadership. That is, high level campaigns are needed to educate the public and policymakers about nitrate contamination and its dangers. People should first know about its dangers, only then they can protest about it. State level action, that is, states must act on central groundwater board's findings to prevent further degradation of groundwater quality. Then they should also be focused on sustainable agriculture. This is very important. Of the 60.4% groundwater extracted in India, most of the water is used for irrigation purposes and mainly for agriculture purposes. Okay, and agriculture, like agriculture with the heavy dependence on these pesticides, etc., etc., chemicals is very harmful for the groundwater, because these pollutants are going to dragged away during the rainfall and then they will be sent to the groundwater, resulting in groundwater pollution. So focus should be on sustainable agriculture or climate smart agriculture. That is, promote agricultural practices that reduce nitrate runoff into the groundwater. So the need is, while India's groundwater monitoring systems has improved significantly, urgent steps are needed to address a dual crisis of chemical contamination as well as over extraction. A coordinated approach involving scientific assessment, public awareness, and government intervention is critical for safeguarding these vital resources. Okay. Then the fourth article, it is covered by most of the newspapers. So I have taken the article and I have given the static part of this one also. So the article deals about National Sport Awards of 2024. First we will understand the National Sport Awards and what are the different types of awards, and then we will see the list of recipients of these awards. National Sports Awards are presented annually by Union Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. Okay, you should know the ministry also, Youth Affairs and Sports, to honor exceptional contributions in the field of sports and games. The awards aim to recognize excellence in sports, encourage dedication and discipline in athletes and coaches, and promote sportsmanship and overall development of sports in India. Okay, they act as an incentive for achieving excellence in sports. Categories of National Sports Awards. First major category is Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award. Major Dhyan Chand was the hockey player in India who received Bharat Ratna. This Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award recognizes most outstanding performances in sports over the past 4 years. It is considered the highest honor for sports person in India. Then Arjuna Award. Arjuna Award is awarded for consistently excellent performance in sports over the last 4 years. It also, time period is very important. Okay, so in Major Dhyan Chand Award, most outstanding performance sports over the past 4 years, and here consistently excellent performance in sports over the last 4 years. It also acknowledges qualities like leadership, sportsmanship, and display. Then comes Arjuna Award. Arjuna Award, there are two types of the Arjuna Award. One is normal Arjuna Award. It is given for the 4-year period. Another one is Arjuna Award Lifetime. That is, it recognizes sports persons who have excelled in their active careers and contributed to promoting sports after the retirement. Okay, this is for lifetime. And finally, it is for Dronacharya Award. Dronacharya in the epic Mahabharata was the coach of Pandavas and Kauravas, and he was also coach of Arjuna. So in his name, award is provided to honor the coaches for their outstanding and meritorious work, acknowledges their role in helping athletes excel in international competitions. Then there is Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad Trophy. It is awarded to top performing universities in the Khelo India University Games. This is a very recent trophy which is introduced during the Khelo India University Games. So how these people are selected? The process of selection is, the selection committee for the 2024 awards was chaired by Justice V. Ramasubramaniam, who is a former Supreme Court judge. The committee members included eminent sport persons, experts in sports journalism, sport administrators with extensive experiences. These are all the members who are included in the selection process. And so what are the significance of these awards? Awards is encouraging the athletes to achieve excellence at both national and international level, recognize the vital role of coaches in nurturing the talent, promotes culture of sportsmen and discipline across the nation, encourages universities to enhance their participation and performance in the sports. All these things are very important. So now the current affairs is National Sports Award 2024 recipients are for Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award for the last outstanding performance in the last 4 years is Gukesh D, who recently won the chess championship and became the youngest chess champion. Okay, youngest. And Harmanpreet Singh for hockey, Praveen Kumar for para athletics, and Manu Bhekar for shooting. She became the only woman from India to have 2 medals. Okay, that is 2 bronze medals in shooting. And Arjuna Award performance in sports for the previous 4 years. Kapil Parmar in athletics, Deepika in kabaddi, Rudraksh Patil in shooting, Jyoti Suresh Varnam in archery, HS Pranay in badminton, Nihal Sarin in chess, Deepika Pallikal in squash. Okay, and Sandeep Narwal in Kabaddi, Simranjit Kaur in boxing, Sumit Antil in Paralympics, Sumit Antil para athletics mainly for javelin. Okay, then Dronacharya Award for the coaches who have produced outstanding performance. Radhakrishna Nair in athletics, Sandhya Gurung in boxing, Jaspal Rana in shooting, Pulela Gopichan for badminton, Subramaniam Raman for table tennis. And Arjuna Award for lifetime is provided for Anju Bobby George in athletics, Leander Pace in tennis, MC Mary Kom in boxing. All the three legends. Then Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad Trophy for outstanding universities, overall winner trophy for Chandigarh University, first runner-up university, Lovely Professional University of Punjab, and then second runner-up university, Guru Nanak Dev University of Amritsar. Okay, and today's last article for the day is about remittances. India secures 14.3% of global remittances in 2024 as per World Bank report. The India's record-breaking 129.1 billion remittances for 2024 highlights the country's dominance in global remittance flows and the economic importance of its diaspora. So, what are the trends in economic remittances? So, this year it is a record inflows. India received 129.1 billion, which is the highest received for any country in a single year. The highest received in any country for a single year. In global share, India accounted for 14.3% of the total global remittance 24, which is the highest share since 2000. The growth rate of 5.8% up from 1.2% 2023. Okay, and top recipients, the countries are India, Mexico, and China. Okay, India almost has a double the amount of Mexico and triple the amount of China. So this shows the importance of Indian diaspora. So what are the factors driving high remittances in India? That is, as I told you, large diaspora, that is over 18 million Indians are living abroad, majorly in USA, UAE, Middle Eastern countries, etc., etc. And migration to high income countries such as United States, United Kingdom, Australia. And drivers skill levels, that is includes highly skilled professionals in IT, healthcare, and semi-skilled laborers also. And post-pandemic recovery, this is very important. Improve the job markets in high income economies, increase the employment opportunity for India's. Okay, the employment opportunities were present in highly skilled professionals in IT, etc., in USA, UK, etc., etc., and in semi-skilled laborers in Middle Eastern, etc., etc. countries. So, what are the significance of high remittances? It is going to provide household support, which is crucial income source for many families. It is going to boost household welfare and household income. It will have an impact on GDP. That is, remittances contributed 3.3% to India's GDP in 2024. This is very important. Remittances are included in GDP because whatever the amount is earned from the abroad is being sent back to the India, and that amount is being included and invested in India. So it is included in GDP. And comparison to other financial flows, it outpaced FDI, that is foreign direct investment, and official development assistances. Okay, remittances is higher compared to FDI, and ODS. Then long-term growth, that is 57% in the remittances to low and middle income countries over the past decade. So this increases, this is significance of remittances. But what are the negative impacts of brain drain? Okay, we have seen that the diaspora is high because most of the Indians are moving abroad for employment opportunities. But that is also brain drain because highly skilled professionals like engineers, doctors, etc., etc., if they are moving away from India to abroad countries, it is going to drain the brain of India. Okay, it is going to have negative implications on the social strata of India. That is, negative impacts include loss of skilled labor, that is depletion in critical sectors like healthcare and education. I already told you, reduces the capacity for innovation and development because all the brain and the important workers are going abroad. Then there are economic consequences also, that is, it will, though it is going to increase the remittances, it is going to decrease the tax revenue because tax is, the income is taxed at the abroad only. Then limited public spending on infrastructure and social programs, and impeded development, that is slower growth due to human capital loss and perpetuates underdevelopment and economic stagnation. Okay, there are both positives and negatives of brain drain. Then what should be the way forward? Way forward should be enhance domestic opportunities. That is, strengthen sectors like education, healthcare, and innovation so that people don't need to go out of India. Offer competitive salaries and career growth opportunities. Second one is engage in diaspora strategically. That is, facilitate knowledge transfer, investments, and partnerships. Also, create initiatives to connect diaspora contributions to national development. Okay, and then this achievement underscores the economic importance of remittances while also drawing attention to the challenges of brain drain. The strategic interventions can ensure that remittances and the diaspora's contributions drive long-term growth and development for India. Okay, in way forward there can also be certain schemes such as bond schemes. Okay, the bond is that once you graduate from India as a doctor, you have to work for a certain period of time in India only. Once you graduate as an engineer in India, you have to work for a certain period of time in India only, so that you are going to contribute back to the society. Only then you are allowed to go for a particular country. That can also address the brain drain. So this is today's news analysis. If you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it, and also share with your friends so that they can also watch the video. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and also click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. With this, I will be ending the video. Jai Hind.